Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I am your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome back, everybody. This is episode number 8, part 3. You've waited this long. Here it is, the final part of the long interview with Will. And we got into a bunch of different mini topics as we closed out the episode, the show. And we have a first on this episode. A first for the show from Mr. Will Reed. And he is quite sincere. So stay tuned for that. All right, enough of me mumbling. Let's get to part 3. So I want to wrap this thing up before I do. Now, obviously, the roller coaster is coming out, and I could spend a whole hour still talking about that. So that's coming out. A bunch of other sets or artwork and official releases have come out as this is going to be coming out this date, this is going to be coming out this date, or we're going to let you know this date of this coming out. Specifically talking like Ninjago stuff. I actually saw another one that popped out today, and my kid is huge with the Ninjago stuff. Kids are nutso about it right now. And I showed him one, and he's like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I'm looking at this stuff that keeps coming out. Is there anything else, maybe that's themed, maybe that's not themed, other than the roller coaster that you're kind of looking forward to? Because summer 2018 is coming, and that's the next load of releases for Lego. Is there something else coming down the pipe that you are curious about?
There are 3 things I can think of. One of them just kind of surprised me. It's been years since they've done a city hospital set, but we're actually going to get a new hospital.
I saw that.
With ambulance and helicopter. So it was just neat that it wasn't police or fire. And
you're telling me.
Oh, it is interesting that the city's sub-theme is going to be Arctic again, and we're actually getting woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers. So that's neat.
Well, and I can already see it on... Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Architecture line, there's actually going to be a new version of a Statue of Liberty set, complete with pedestal.
I saw that. That is cool, too.
Yeah, it's Sarah, my wife, says that the herself is a little weird to her because she's actually seen the original Statue of Liberty. In fact, we had friends who spent like $600 or $700 on a fan-built pedestal. So she saw the Statue of Liberty, which was just the statue, plus the fan-built pedestal as one thing, and that is impressive.
Yeah.
This is nice. It's not that.
No,
so
it is not.
A little spoiled on that. Yeah.
It is not that. Growing up on the East Coast, I've had the opportunity to see it. And I mean, you're only going to be able to do so much. You're only going to be able to recreate it in Lego to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other than that, a creator sweet shop. It's a small set. I just thought it was an interesting topic that they don't normally cover. What was it? It was something like Sweet Surprise, and I was only excited about that just because of how different of a take it was on something rather ordinary.
Or maybe it's because of your sweet tooth.
That too. I will not turn down sugar, no matter how bad it's for me. Oh, I was excited because I am into all the Brickheads. Just looking at the names and the price points, it does look like they're going to make Brickheads with smaller creations. So I know Harry Potter is going to have a Hedwig, his owl, and that's like a $15 set instead of a $10 set.
Okay.
And then Luke comes with Yoda, and that's another $15 set instead of a $10 or even $20. So it's actually going to be I would imagine it's going to be a smaller design. So I'm And the one reason why I'm excited about that is because Brickheads, one of the cool thing about them is they've come up with a pattern of this is how you scale a Brickhead. So seeing a smaller version is going to see, well, how does that scale that's still within the Brickheads universe so that I can make other small things on my own and still be within scale of my entire collection.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, you
Yeah, if you start on Brickheads, you kind of get in trouble. And
I
there's going to be
have
a
no
Darth
doubt.
Vader and a Stormtrooper.
Will's already counting his pennies right now.
Yeah, I don't have any. They're all
I
gone.
don't have any. You better find that mysterious Lego minifig and throw them out there on eBay or Bricklink. And
Yeah. In fact, I got the Go Brick Me set because Rebrick has a contest that's going to be ending at the beginning of May. That you do a brickhead of yourself, and it can be an avatar. It doesn't actually have to look like you. You can be as creative as you want, but the grand prize is like 24 brickheads, many of which haven't even been announced yet. Plus, I think even some extra money to go thrown at the Lego shop at home. But I was just excited. It's like, ooh, 24 brickheads! I can use them all.
I have so much I can do with them, says Will. I could stay in my cave for days building.
I'm telling you, if you go out, you buy the Go Brick Me, it's going to become your new mech obsession. It's going to take it over.
I don't think my wife would be happy.
No, see, that's the cool thing is you make a version of her, and you go, see, I was thinking about you.
Mother's Day is right around the corner.
See?
Yeah. The only brickhead I have, I bought the Bell one because
that's
my classroom is Lego themed, and I've got different Lego. Most of them are like the 3-in-1 creator, or some of the smaller city sets that have like the planes or the jets or helicopters or stuff like that, and I have them suspended from my ceiling in my classroom. And I was like, well, this could be looked at more boyish, so I added something from Friends and suspended it, and then I got Belle. I was like, well, this will have to suffice for the little girls in my class. But,
if you want something girls and that's typically designed for girls and still looks great, look at the Elves line.
Elves.
They have some amazing looking dragons, and in fact, there was also a flying ship that I just absolutely loved. It had this cool mechanic where you can pull it back and forth, and the wings actually naturally like flap, and it has like a hot air balloon thing on top of it. It looks awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah, we were on a kick where we got all these dragon sets, and my wife's like, I want to build up all my dragons.
Well, you had mentioned, I mean, you talked about the Arctic set, the new version of the City Arctic that's coming out this summer, and some of the molds of the animals that are coming out. And when you were going through that real quick, I'm going to touch on that hopefully here in another week or so, just anyway. So immediately what went to my mind is you look on Bricklink at some sets and it says minifigs, or like a lot of the Star Wars, the minifigs are not included, or such and such, and I can see people yanking the mammoth and the saber-toothed tiger out and saying, oh, here they are, and they're going for $25 a head.
Yeah, that's what they done for Dragons for the Night series. That's what they did for I've seen in Harry Potter, like some of the Shelob, or well, that was Lord of the Rings, but Aragog? No. What was Hagrid's spider?
Are you asking me? I have no idea.
I think it is Aragog, so they would do separate builds like that. I know there was even some constructed things that were off to the side, like the Tower of Orthunk. They did the Treant, Treebeard was separate. But yeah, if you look at the old Adventures line, when it's like the last time we got anything close to an elephant, because there was an elephant, those are usually elephant not included.
Right.
Or here is just the elephant.
Here's just the elephant for $50.
Yes.
Yeah,
but the set's $30.
Yeah, exactly. Because one of the other kicks that I've had, in the last year is trying to piece back all the Pharaoh's Quest stuff, and just the whole desert mummy. I'm just fascinated by it. I have been since I was a kid, and that's when, they didn't come out then. They came out in early 2000s, when I was, in the dark ages of Lego, and I pushed it aside for girls and cars and stuff. Silly me. Anyway,
what were you thinking?
I know, right? So, I'm constantly checking eBay or Bricklink or somewhere else, just seeing, where things are and stuff like that. And that's another thing. Oh, hey, you can have this guy and it's a $20 set or $30 set. Oh, but this guy's going to cost you 10 right here. This little minifig dude, he's going to be 10 on his own. It's like, oh God, come on.
Yeah. I had the same thing when I was going through trying to find old pirate sets. And I found one thing that helped me is I was looking at eBay and certain people that had part slots. I'd look at the parts and try to guess what type of ship they had, because they didn't know.
Right.
They didn't know.
Absolutely.
And I actually managed to make some pretty cool pirate sets. There was a Renegade Runner, which was a small ship. There was an actual castle line. It was a Skeleton Ship Attack, and it was an exclusive to Lego. And that thing even sold for, I don't know, 80 to 100 when it was retail. And I managed to get it dirt cheap because they had all the very important parts, like the sails, which is just, it's too expensive to get any other way. In fact, that's how I identified the eBay seller. It was like, oh, that's only in the Skeleton Ship Attack. Okay, that's it.
Right.
So I'm getting that.
They had no idea what they were sitting on, and you're picking these photos apart like, I know what this is from, because you look at some of the bulk lots and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, this is that. I have an idea of where these pieces go, but most people don't look at that kind of stuff. And when yard sales around here pop up, I've been to a few, and you can find people that are getting rid of their kids' old Legos. Here, how much? You get this plastic tub, depending on the person. Some people do their homework, but you can take the whole 50-gallon tub for $20, kind of thing. Yeah. Not literally 50 gallons, but, sometimes you can...
And then you just pray there's not mostly Mega Bloks, because that actually happened to us. Yeah, there was a 45-pound lot that we spent $80 on, sight unseen, and yeah, 80% of it was Mega Bloks. It was not a fun day. However, I had enough relatives with little kids that they didn't mind playing with Mega Bloks for building. Sure. So I pawned it off on them because I was just gonna throw it otherwise.
Well, that's kind of my fear now. I touched on it in a past episode with Lepin, one of the Chinese knockoffs, and we had bought some stuff off of eBay, and you see these things pop up, and they look, they feel completely different, and it's one of those things. It's just like, it's a sight unseen. You have to take the seller's word on it. Oh, this is Lego. Maybe they don't know, maybe they do know, and it's just like, I can use about half of this. The rest of this is junk.
Yeah.
Especially when, like you said, with Mega Bloks, because they don't go together. Lego and Mega Bloks don't work.
Yeah, I ended up with some parts that were just this giant scaffolding of who knows what, but it didn't even have anything that looked like a regular connection to anything that looked like a Lego system. So I was even thinking, is this even a building toy? And I only knew it was because it was still in a plastic bag that was labeled Mega Bloks.
Okay.
So I knew it was a building toy. I just didn't know how any of it worked since there was no instructions to it. But man, it looked cheap and hinky as I don't know what.
Yeah. Well, that comes down to, what we discussed earlier with Lego goes through rigorous testing, and, they spend endless amounts of manpower trying to make sure that you get this quality product, and no one else has been able to come close to them. I mean, Mega Bloks has their own little niche with some of the stuff. I think like the Call of Duty, Halo, that kind of thing, which is cool. Some of the, you pass those in a toy aisle and you're like, oh, it's kind of neat looking. Not up my alley, but it's up somebody's alley, or else they wouldn't still be, in business.
Yeah. I think when it comes to quality, Creo is probably one of the ones that comes close.
Sure.
To it, but
that's a different spectrum in its own.
Yeah, I'm still just gonna stick with Lego because at the very least I know, even if it's a part I don't want for anything, I also know that there is a community out there where somebody wants it and it has an intrinsic value.
Yes. So one day if you finally decide, I don't want this stuff anymore, the Lego community will gladly pay you for your work, your collection. Anyway, we'll close this up. Will, thank you for coming on. The magical, mystical Will Reed.
Lego tour.
The awesome brain from the know-it-all of I won't say know-it-all. Know a lot, Will Reed. Most definitely, we'll have you back on. I don't know what we'll talk about. We can figure out something. Lego always has something to talk about.
Well, the other thing is we could also talk about some of the third-party fan stuff. Like I mentioned briefly before, the JK Brickworks. Check out his website. He actually gives all the instructions and part lists for some of his creations, and he has some amazing... Okay, so I consider myself an expert builder. This guy is on a completely different level, on another planet, when it comes to the type of stuff he builds. Like some of his simplest model is a flower that when you turn the collar, it actually blooms in real time. That's the type of stuff this guy makes, and so I'm building one of his models, and I'm going to be very excited to see how that turns out.
Are you talking about the mechanical flower? I've pulled up his website real quick.
Yeah, the mechanical flower.
Interesting.
But the one I'm going to be building is the Sisyphus model. I'm going to build the motorized version.
I dare you to say that thing 10 times fast.
I can barely say it once slow.
When you said it earlier, I was like, did he mean to say something else, or
no Sisyphus? Yes, the Greek mythology of the guy being punished in Tartarus, always pushing up a boulder up a hill.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, it's the Sisyphus motorized. Yeah, I that is, wow, that thing is slick looking. Man,
yeah,
you're right. This dude's on another level. He shames you.
Oh, I just am completely and utterly shamed by what this guy does. Golly. So I'm just so excited. It took me a while to get all the parts, and I'm still waiting because Lego missed a few parts. But once they come in, I will have everything I need. I'll bring up the instructions and start getting to work. And sure as heck, I'm going to bring it to various displays that our club does around the area, because I can't imagine anyone not wanting to see this thing.
So do you pay for the instructions?
No. He gives off the instructions for free. If you want the L-Draw
I'm
files,
looking. There's the L-Draw file. There's a parts list. There's the building guide list. PDF.
Yes. Now, if you do want to pay for it,
you can buy the kit.
Yeah, if you go to Mock Hub, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but it's like $300 some odd dollars.
Sure.
That's why I decided to pull my own parts
and
buy what I didn't have.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and then I'll also be at some point, I have no idea when, because it'll still be a while. There was a Kickstarter I backed for a product called iBricks, and that is a lighting system for Lego system that doesn't actually require any wires.
I saw that. Jang
Yeah, he did a video.
Yeah,
on
he
that.
did it. Tried it out in his little city deal, and that is one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen as far as outside of the box Lego.
Yeah, and I've tried different things, because we could even talk about lighting, since I've tried a number of different methods, from official Lego to third party to things that people just happen to use, like EL wire. Yeah, this is one thing that got me excited, because I could just build it in, I put it over the base, and it lights up. So
cool.
I really hope it works well. And we're a couple $100 into it, so.
Well, you never know. It may not, but then who knows? It may open the door for something else down the line, and you never know.
Yeah. So there's plenty to talk about.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, all the lovely people. Which my numbers are growing, which is a good deal. Not so much on social media, but I've talked with a bunch of different people, and Instagram is one of the big platforms, but I'm just amazed at how many people, there's so many different ways that people listen. I mean, after I record and I go back and I edit, I listen, through my program, and then I listen to it through the podcast app that I have, just to go back and listen. Is there anything else? And when I check numbers and stuff, there's iTunes, there's this app, there's that app, there's Google Store, there's something else, there's so many different things, but it's growing. And you've definitely helped for sure, because when you come on, Brick Blogger retweets, or they say, make a comment about it, so that helps it get back out there. But I know episode number 8, or this is episode number 8, duh. Yeah. Episode number 7 was one of the highest downloaded episodes that I've had up until this point, and has had second most traffic to it out of all the episodes so far. So I definitely, you coming on, people want to hear what Will Reed has to say.
They want to hear me taking advantage of other people.
That's exactly what they want. They're gonna, curl up in a ball in the corner. And no, this guy, he's the cause for my misery. Not quite.
Yeah, so what they really want is me to say I'm sorry. So I'm, on behalf of the Brick Blogger, myself, and even the Bricks King, I'm sorry. You don't get that anywhere else except here on the Bricks King.
You have a sincere apology. That is a first on this episode.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, and we'll talk with you soon.
All right.
Well, that'll do it. The final part of the trilogy for episode number 8, the lost episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And you got an apology from Will Reed for taking advantage of you guys. Well, not all of you. Maybe some of you. But it was all in fun, right? If you're looking for us, you can find us on all of our social media accounts. And here's where. On Facebook, facebook.com/The Bricks King Podcast. On Instagram, @The Bricks King Podcast. On Twitter, @The Bricks King. And we also have our email, thebricksking@gmail.com. Lastly, we have a new platform you can find us on, YouTube. We don't have any true review videos or anything like that up yet. Those will be coming in the future, hopefully. But for now, wherever you download your podcast, if you like your apps, wherever you want to do it, that's fine. You can also listen to each show, starting with episode 14, and then this weird trilogy thing that got lost before. Anyway, you can start listening to all of the episodes on YouTube. All you have to do, type in The Bricks King on YouTube, or you can just Google The Bricks King YouTube, and it'll pop it up. I will make sure I get the link or the page out to different social media platforms so that you guys, if you want to listen that way, by all means, I would love to see you there. Subscribe to us, give us a like, give us some feedback. Hope you guys really enjoyed this show. We had a blast doing it, and I love talking with Will. He is so knowledgeable about Lego. As always, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.